Okay, great, thank you. Yes, we do have a quorum, Chair.
All
Mayor.
right, why don't we get started then? So welcome everyone to the Old Colony MPO meeting on February 17th. Charlie, you want to bring up the accessibility statements? All right, this is accessibility statement Title 6 non-discrimination statement. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. If you would like this accommodation, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833. And then the notice of non-discrimination rights and protections to beneficiaries with regard to the federal Title VI non-discrimination protections and the state non-discrimination protections is included on this meeting's agenda as an event is also available on the Old Colony Planning Council website at https://colonbackslash/OLDCOLONYPLANNING.org/. And if you need any help, please contact Mary Walden at 508-583-1833 for more information. Thank you. All right, Charlie, you want to do the roll?
Yes, Steve Wolfel.
Steve Wolfer representing interim secretary and CEO, Phil Eng here.
Sean Handy.
Sean Handy, representing administrator and undersecretary Gulliver.
Thank you. Don Alcombright.
Don Alcombright, Kingston.
Thank you. Dan Salvucci.
Present. Whitman.
Kelly Forrester.
Representing Michael Lambert, I'm here.
Becky Coletta.
Becky Coletta on behalf of OCPC.
Thank you. And we're checking with Rick Bossy. Are you representing Plymouth today?
Yeah. I don't see James on here, so I'll fill in for him until he signs on.
Okay, great. Thank you. Chair, we do have a quorum.
All right. Again, welcome everybody. We'll move on to agenda item 2.
And just if I could, I apologize. Nelson Fernandez.
Good.
Nelson Fernandez is joining us. Just so we can have it be.
Yeah, he's coming over from the waiting room here. And then Nelson Fernandez.
Nelson, I think there you go.
I'm here.
Great, thank you.
Welcome, Nelson. All right. We're on to agenda item 2, public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the MPO today? All right, I don't see any. So we'll now move on to first action item, agenda item 3, potential approval of the minutes from January 20th. Can I get a motion, a second to approve the minutes?
So moved, Dan from Whitman.
I'll second.
Second.
Becky.
All right, any changes or comments on the minutes? All right, seeing none. Charlie, you want to read the roll?
Steve Wolfel.
Yes.
Sean Handy.
Yes.
Nelson Fernandez.
Yes.
Don Alcombright.
Yes.
Rick Bossy.
Yes.
Dan Salvucci.
Yes.
Kelly Forrester.
Yes.
Becky Coletta.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Charlie. We'll now move on to agenda item 4, which is the update from the Brockton Area Transit Authority. I think it's you, Kelly, right?
That is me, and it's very easy. I have no update today.
Wow. I'm going to keep calling on you, Kelly, if that's the case. All right, we're on to agenda number 5, which is the update from the Greater Attleboro Taunton Regional Transit Authority. Is Mary Ellen here?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, take it easy. Take it away, Mary Ellen.
Oh, I don't want to upstage Kelly, so maybe I should just say no report. But we are continuing to assess service and looking to see where we can expand into later night service and also working towards Sunday service. We now have a union contract in place that would let us do that. So we are looking at where it makes the most sense for us to start rolling out those service expansions. And then on a positive note, the Gateway Link, which connects Brockton, Taunton, and Fall River, continues to see amazing growth. We moved another just over 3,000 people in January. So we are really excited with the way that that service is doing exactly what we thought, which is connecting the 3 gateway cities. And that's Gatra's report.
All right, any questions for Marilyn? All right, thank you, Marilyn. We'll move on to agenda item 6, which is a bunch of tip items. So I'll turn it over to Bill.
Thank you, Chair. So if you recall at our last MPO meeting, we had a tip amendment go out to public view and comment period. That was tip amendment number 2. That was to revise funding sources on a transit item for a bat. Just want to go to the next page. So this kind of summarizes what that revision was. It revised the RTA cap funding downwards from 2,150,000 down to 700,000, but then it took 5307 funds and combined that with the 700,000 RTA cap funds and keeps the project cost at 2,850,000. So this went out to a 21-day public review and comment period. It was advertised in our 2 primary newspapers, Brockton Enterprise and the Patriot Ledger. It also went out to direct email to our contact list. We did not receive any public comments, but we did receive positive votes of approval from the Joint Transportation Committee and the Old Colony Planning Council as the amendment was presented. So at this time,
I'm sorry, I muted myself, Bill.
Oh, no,
Any
sorry.
questions no wonder there was no questions, but any questions for Bill? All right, seeing none, does someone want to make a motion, a second to endorse?
I'll make that motion, Dan from Whitman.
I'll second.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Last call, any questions for Bill? All right, Charlie, you want to read the roll?
Steve Wolfle,
Yes.
Sean Handy,
Yes.
Nelson Fernandez,
Yes.
Don Alcombright,
Yes.
Rick Bossy,
Yes.
Dan Salvucci,
Yes.
Kelly Forrester,
Yes.
Becky Coletto.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Bill. All right, we're on to agenda item 7, which is another tip item. This is results of the tip readiness days. Bill, take it away.
Thank you. So, as most everyone knows, there was a tip readiness day earlier this month that Old Colony Planning Council participated in, along with MassDOT. There's an annual event where we go through all the projects in the universe of projects, whether they're programmed or not, and kind of just assess them for tip readiness. So if you want to go, just skip to the next page where it starts. Okay, thank you. So just, without further ado, I'll go through the projects community by community. So starting in Abington, intersection improvements at Hancock Street and Chestnut Street. That is on schedule to be advertised this year. So that is good news. Abington and Brockton, improvements on Route 123 through these 2 communities. This is largely a pedestrian and bicycle improvement project, but I think they might include others. So the assessment, the consensus from tip readiness day, I should say, was that this project is currently moderate risk for its program year in 2029. It is recommended to keep it in 2029 for now, but just noting that there is a moderate amount of risk on this project. In Abington, intersection improvements at Randolph Street and Chestnut Street. This is programmed in 2028, and this is considered, I'm sorry, this is programmed in 2027, I should say, and this is in good shape for 2027. Also in Abington, intersection improvements at Route 18 and Route 123. This is programmed in 2028,
Hello.
and that is in good shape for 2028. Thank you. In Avon, the intersection project for improvements project for the 2 intersections, Route 28 at Harrison Boulevard and East and West Spring Street. This was programmed in 2027. This is considered high risk for 2027. was recommended to move it to 2028. In Bridgewater, the Vernon Street Bridge over the Taunton River, this is programmed in 2029, and the consensus was that this is in good shape for 2029. In Brockton, intersection improvements at Route 123 and Plymouth Street, there's a long-awaited project. And the good news is that this is in good shape for advertising this year. Brockton intersection improvements at Lyman Street and Grove Street, including the replacement of the Grove Street Bridge. This is programmed in 2027. The consensus was that there was a moderate amount of risk with this project, but to keep it in 2027 for now. In Brockton, intersection improvements at Route 123 at Stonehill Street and Pearl Street. This project is currently programmed in 2028. It's considered at high risk, and the recommendation was to move it to 2029. In Duxbury, the Powder Point Avenue Bridge replacement project that is currently programmed for 2027. Assessment was that this is moderate amount of risk for 2027, but to keep it there for now. In Duxbury, intersection improvements, Route 53 at Franklin Street. This is programmed for 2030, and that's believed to be in good shape for 2030. In East Bridgewater, intersection improvements at Route 18 and Highland Street. This is programmed for 2029, and was considered to be a moderate amount of risk, but to keep it in 2029. Also in East Bridgewater, the bridge replacement project for the Pond Street Bridge over the Patuxent River. This is programmed in 2029, and that is good shape for 2029. In Easton, so this is a potential new project that we're looking at. This would be intersection improvements at Route 123. I'm sorry, Route 138 and 130 in Purchase Street and Route 138 and Turnpike Street. This is currently not programmed, but it is a potential project that could be good for 2031. In Hanover, corridor improvements on Route 139 on the center there at Main Street, Silver Street. Main Street and Silver Street. This is currently programmed in 2029. This is considered high risk, and recommendation was to move it to 2030. Hanover, intersection improvements at Route 53 and Broadway. This is currently programmed in 2029 and considered to be good shape for 2029. In Hanson, Route 14 corridor improvements project that was removed from programming a couple of years ago due to waiting on the results of the subsurface utility engineering assessment. It's noted that there needs to be a confirmation that active design is resuming on this project before it can be considered to be reprogrammed on the tip. In Kingston, bridge replacement for Smith's Lane over Route 3. This is considered good for 2028. Kingston Duxbury intersection improvements. Route 3 at the Route 3A, I should say, at the Route 3 ramps. This is currently programmed in 2028, and that is considered high risk, and the recommendation was to move to 2029. In Kingston, intersection improvements at Route 3A and Route 53 Summer Street. This is a potential new project for 2031. It was recently approved by Project Review Committee. It is considered a potential for 2031, but consensus was that a 25% design be committed to before this is programmed on the tip. And Plymouth, again, a potential new project for 2031. This is corridor improvements on Route 3A in Cedarville, including the two intersections, Route 3A at Hedges Pond Road and Route 3A at Herring Pond Road. This is a potential project for 2031. In Stoughton, intersection improvements at Canton Street and I'm sorry, yes, Canton Street and School Street. This is programmed in 2028 and is considered to be in good shape for 2028. And also in Stoughton, intersection improvements at Route 27 and Park Street. This is currently programmed for 2029. It's considered amount to be in moderate risk, but to keep it in 2029 for now. Then West Bridgewater, bridge replacement for the 4th Street Bridge. This is programmed in 2028 and in good shape for 2028. And finally, in Whitman, corridor improvements
Oh,
on South Ave. This is currently programmed in 2030, and the consensus was that that was good for 2030. So that was the results of the tip readiness days. So right now we're in the process of developing program scenarios that we would present to this board 1 month from now at the March meeting to select a preferred set of projects. So if we moved everything to the recommended years, based on the findings of tip readiness days, we found that we are very over-programmed in the years 2029 and 2030. So we're currently working with DOT to resolve that, find ways to resolve that, because we are pretty far from fiscal constraint at this point, but we're working on it. And that is my update.
Okay, Becky and then Charlie.
I had a question on a few projects.
Sure.
Duxbury Route 43 and Franklin Street, that's scheduled for 2030. I know that gets a lot of concern locally. Is that something that Duxbury needs to move on? I'm a little confused. Route 53, I think of as more of a state road. Is that intersection in the purview of Duxbury DPW? Do they need to come up with the 25% design?
No,
It's MassDOT.
yeah, that's a
MassDOT. That's
state
a state.
project.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, secondly, on the Route 53 139 intersection, is that going to be impacted by the traffic study we're doing right now in Pembroke?
good question.
Mm,
I mean, I'd
the
like to see that intersection improved, but I also know that we have that big traffic study happening on 139.
That's a different community. I think that's Abington, isn't it?
Yeah, this one shows up in Hanover.
oh,
It's the improvements at Columbia Road, Route 53, 139 and Broadway.
yeah, no, that would have that was initiated prior to the corridor study, and actually a corridor study doesn't go down to that intersection. The corridor study stays it stops at the Hanover Town line. We did do
Okay.
a 53 corridor study a few years ago that covered this intersection, so no, there would be no impact on this project.
Okay, thanks. And I keep calling it a traffic study. I'm in a corridor study.
Mhm.
And I will say that at that intersection, I myself have personally witnessed multiple accidents when I used to work near that corner.
Yeah,
So
that's we go through that intersection all the time. Yeah, that's a tough one.
that is a tough one. Well, I used to work on the corner there and I would see accidents all the time.
Mhm.
Okay, the Duxbury Kingston ones have me a little concerned that the Route 3 and Route 3A projects look like they're getting delayed. And I thought those were on target to get finished more quickly. Is that a Kingston issue or a MassDOT issue?
So it's a issue of getting the project up to the 75% design stage. The two communities are looking for ways to fund the remaining design on this project. Basically, what happened was the design costs ended up being way more than the two communities anticipated when they initiated this project. But I've spoken with Kingston, and in turn Kingston has spoken with Duxbury, and they're both working with the design consultant, which is VAI, and they we're we're confident that this project can remain in 2028.
In 2028, or you said it was probably moving to 2023?
Well, yeah, so that was the recommendation of the readiness days. I think, without it would be ultimately up to this board to select a preferred set of projects. But right now we're developing our draft scenarios and we're looking to probably keep this in 2028 for now. We would still have, even if we keep it in 2028 for now and it's not going to be ready for 2028, we would still have time to move that to 2029 since this isn't
Next year.
yeah, this isn't next year. So we would have time to move it if necessary. But speaking with the two communities and the design consultant, we feel confident that they're able to resolve the funding issues and bring us up to the level of design it needs to be.
I think this is one area where Prism will be interesting as we start to open up this process more to the public. Like that's one of those projects that I think the public has been expecting any day now. And so I think there might be more of a push to find the funding if the public knew that funding was holding it up. Anyway, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Becky. Charlie.
Sure. Thank you, Chair. So following up on Becky Coletta's question about Route 53 at Franklin, I want to note that there's a design public hearing coming up on March 24th at 6 p.m. I dropped a link to it in the chat. So people can log in and learn more about that project at that design public hearing. And then I noticed in the chat, Samara had a question for Bill. She asked, Bill, you said moderate or high risk. What do you mean by that? What are the risks? So Bill, could you explain the definitions of high risk and moderate risk, et cetera, and what that means?
Yeah, so basically when they say high risk or so when they develop the spreadsheets that they use and they kind of use a similar color that we're using here, the red or magenta, they're seeing issues that they don't think can be resolved by in time to get this project to meet its advertising year. So sometimes it can be different things. Sometimes they're seeing that there's a substantial amount of right of way that needs to be resolved before the project can move forward, and they just don't think it's going to happen in time. Or again, the Kingston Duxbury project, they feel that there's a hold up, a hang up in getting the necessary funding, and they don't think it's going to be able to go. Sometimes there are environmental issues that they think are going to be major obstacles. So anything that they really don't think is going to be resolved in time, that would be when they label it a high risk and recommend moving it now. Moderate risk is just they're seeing some potential issues, but they're not anything that need to be addressed right now, just something to be aware of. So, for example, maybe there is an environmental issue, but they're saying, it's nothing that can stop this project right now if it's not, as long as it's addressed now. Just basically saying there's still time to address it. So that's the difference between a moderate amount of risk and a high risk.
Schuster?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I just wanted to echo what Bill was saying. So as part of the guidance from tip readiness days that MassDOT shared with the MPO staff, if it's helpful, there is a very comprehensive spreadsheet that, the MPO staff have permission to share with the municipalities in case they have detailed questions about any high or medium risks highlighted for a project in your community. It could be right of way, it could be status update on the design schedule hasn't changed, or other concerns with the municipality or the designer. So if that would be helpful, Bill, please feel free to share it with your municipalities. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Derek.
Becky?
Just to clarify, Derek, that can be shared with municipalities, but not with the MPO?
No, it can be shared with the MPO. It's been disseminated to MPO staff. So if it's the pleasure of the MPO board to see that after this meeting, MPO staff are are encouraged to go ahead and share with the board or the JTC or whomever appropriate.
I would be curious to see it just because we're also talking about some of these issues on the prison project.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat before this meeting is over.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, any more questions for Bill? All right, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to agenda item 8, which is the National Highway Freight Network Critical Rural and Urban Freight Corridors. I know this is up for endorsement. Charlie, who's doing this?
Sean Bailey.
I will be
All
doing
right,
it, Mr. Chair.
take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As a follow-up from last month's meeting, I presented on the proposed critical rural and urban freight corridors for the Old Colony region as part of the upcoming state freight plan for Massachusetts that is anticipated to be approved in the summer of 2027. And the one public comment that we received was from the Old Colony Planning Council Board of Directors that they reviewed and approved the proposed corridors, and we are now seeking approval of these freight corridors, Mr. Chair.
All right, anyone have any questions for Sean? Does anyone want to make a motion to endorse the corridors detailed here by Sean?
I'll move to endorse.
I'll second it, Dan Whitman.
All right, any last questions for Sean? Seeing none, Charlie, want to read the roll?
Steve Wolfle,
Yes.
Sean Handy,
Yes.
Nelson Fernandez,
Yes.
Don Alcombright,
Yes.
Rick Bossy,
Yes.
Dan Salvucci,
Yes.
Kelly Forrester,
Yes.
Becky Coletta.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the next agenda item, which is agenda item 9, which is the 3C MOU. Charlie, I assume this is you?
Yes, Chair. Thank you. So at the last MPO meeting, we presented the proposed revisions to the existing memorandum of understanding that the MPO operates under. And if you scroll through, next slide. These were the 5 changes. Next slide, as we're panning through this. Next slide. We did circulate this to the chief elected officials of the Old Colony region, all 17 communities. The OCPC Board of Directors at their January 28th meeting approved this as part of their agenda. So this is at a point where staff is seeing no substantial comment on this beyond discussion at the MPO meeting, recommending MPO endorsement.
All right, anyone have any questions for Charlie? All right, seeing none, does someone want to make a motion and a second to endorse?
I'll make that motion, Dan from Whitman. Yes.
Second, Don.
All right, last call. Any questions for Charlie? All right, Charlie, you want to read the roll?
Steve Wolfle,
Yes.
Sean Handy,
Yes.
Nelson Fernandez,
Yes.
Don Alcombright,
Yes.
Rick Bossy,
Yes.
Dan Salvucci,
Yes.
Kelly Forrester,
Yes.
Becky Coletta.
Sorry, I was trying to download that. Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you all.
All right, thank you all. Thank you, Charlie. All right, we're going to move to agenda item 10, which is other business. Charlie, take it away.
Thank you, Chair. So just to dovetail seamlessly with Bill McNulty's earlier presentation on the reporting out of tip readiness days, one of the things that MassDOT hosts are design public hearings at the 25% design stage, at which the 25% design has been approved by MassDOT. So the first one coming up is in Abington. It's the intersection improvements 139 at Chestnut Street, and the design public hearing will be at 6 p.m. on March 10th. And as noted earlier, Route 53 at Franklin and Duxbury, there's a design public hearing on the 34th of March at 6 p.m. as well. Next slide. So one of the things, on monthly meeting of our friends at the Federal Funds Infrastructure Office, their next meeting is February 24th at 2 p.m. and you can register at that link. One of the things about this FFIO, as it's called, through an acronym, is that's a great avenue for seeking matching funds for any discretionary federal grants that you might be pursuing. So thank you. And we're asking the MPO members to save the dates of March 17th, April 21st, May 19th, and June 16th for future meetings of the MPO as the development of the Transportation Improvement Program and Unified Planning Program continue, and other important updates will be provided. But that's what we have for updates today. Turn it back to the chair for any questions and further discussion.
All right, anyone have any questions for Charlie? I just have a comment. It's a good thing that the March 17th meeting's in the morning, not later in the night.
Yeah.
Could have a problem with Central Mass. Anyways, anyone have any questions? All right, seeing none, let's move to the last agenda item. Can I get a motion and a second to adjourn, please?
So moved. Second from Whitman.
Wow. All right, Charlie, you can figure out who did what. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Sorry.
All right, thanks everybody. Now we're starting to get into the serious season, so we look forward to seeing all you in March to start working on the TIP and UPWP and other stuff. So thanks everybody. Stay safe. Hopefully it starts getting warm. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you, Kate. Thank you, everybody. Bye.